What? There's no intro segment this week? Well, there is and there isn't. I made one, but it was way too long, so check out the prequel to Chapter 666 review below.
Okay then, I guess we'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. Anyway, hey everybody, Tekking101 here, here to review Bleach chapter number 666, titled Empty Hall of the Puppet Temple. Okay, whatever. I mean, that's not really that, of a demonic chapter title, 666. I've heard so many theories about where this is going to go, and it doesn't really touch upon anything huge. I mean, stuff happens in the chapter, but I guess people were expecting a lot more, maybe from Grimmjow, because he's the sixth Espada and everything. I mean, he does make an appearance, so at least Kubo got that right. He doesn't do the naming scheme with the title that I thought he was going to do. And also, one other thing is that I've heard in Japan the 666 number is not, as heavily demonic as it is over here in the West. And I think it has mostly to do with Christianity or whatever, I don't know. But I hear the real, the worst number in Japan is 999, and that's the whole deal with Yuha Bach, how he's 9 centuries, 9 years, 9 days to conquer the world. That's what his whole thing is, nines. But I don't know, that's just something I heard a while back. I don't know if that's, credible or anything. But anyway, chapter begins with Askin falling to the ground as Grimmjow just ripped out his fucking heart, Mortal Kombat, fatality style. Ugh. I wonder what was when he was approaching Askin, all the shit Askin did to him, he knocked him out, kind of in a really lame way, and Grimmjow's charging right behind him, and he's like, oh man, I have all these different options to kill him. I wonder if I could slice his freaking head off, or claw out his eyes, or maybe just grab him at the head and just rip it in half. Oh man, this is gonna be crazy. Grimmjow, that is so pedestrian. You just tone down the violence just a little bit. What the hell, Ukiura, you're still alive? No, I'm just your subconscious. Honestly, I'm surprised you even had one, but here I am. Anyway, I think you should go about this a little bit differently. Huh, what do you think? Should I, rip out his genitals? Or no, you idiot. Listen, what you have to do is something very important. It's the thing that I discovered right before I was about to die. The heart, Grimmjow. You have to focus on the heart, because that's the true meaning. Oh, rip out his heart. Yeah, okay, I got it. Okay, whatever. I'm out. Screw this. You gotta admire the simple things in life sometimes. You have characters that are really intelligent and have really elaborate abilities that take forever to explain, of course. But then it's always nice to have a character that's just not afraid to just, grab somebody's heart right out of their chest cavities, rip it out of them, and then just toss it aside. No fuss, no muss, no bullshit. Kenpachi's like that, Grimmjow's like that, Noitora's like that, God bless his praying mantis soul. And, it's nice to have that every once in a while. But Askin's not out of the fight just yet. Of course he's not. He's fucking Askin. A lot of people were curious as how this was going to go down because he suffered a lot of injuries before, like electrocution by, God knows how many amps by Yoruichi, and then he had his whole body blown up, combustion by Yachiru. But this is the first time he's had an actual organ ripped out of his body. So we were curious how this was going to go. And of course, because he has a big hole in himself, he's also missing part of his spine. But then again, Kubo tends to forget that piece of the body kind of exists because we had Tsukishima, who was a human that was still able to walk without one. But look, I'm not a doctor or anything, but in this case, wouldn't it be kind of possible? I mean, yeah, you're missing a heart, you can't pump any more blood, and you're gonna die, but as long as your lungs aren't damaged and you have a throat, you can still speak and talk, at least for a little bit, right? Right? Oh, what the hell? I yank out your heart and you're still alive? Damn, Kubo must have bolted that plot armor on your heart. Well, would you expect no less, my blue-haired adversary? It's because His Majesty granted me Sternritter D, the death-dealing, and therefore I'm able to... Oh, son of a bitch! Die! 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 Okay, Grimmjow, dude, he's done. Just calm down. Oh, man. Anyway, yeah, it turns out that the Urahara, after they have their hollow masks removed by Aizen, have like a mix of Ryatsu. You know, a little bit of Shinigami, a little bit of hollow. And that was the whole point of, you know, Aizen wanting to create them to begin with the Hogyoku. That was the whole idea we thought the Hogyoku did for a long time. Remember, before the Hogyoku was like this magical ball that granted all the wishes of its master, we just originally thought it was the breakdown sphere, which just, you know, separated the boundary between hollow and Shinigami, allowing one realm of Ryatsu to pass into the other. So that's what an Urahara is. However, when Urahara go into their resurrection, it's like a completely different thing from like a Bankai, because that's actually reconstituting, like their original hollow abilities are returning to their bodies. You know, they're still in human form, roughly, because, you know, Grimmjow's original form as an Ahuja's was like an actual panther. But in this case, yeah, his hollow Ryatsu returns completely, which means that the lethal dosage of Askin's power is negated. So that makes sense why he's able to get up and move around. So once again, it just, you know, states, you know, difference between hollows and Quincy's, how like they're kind of natural enemies, and this is kind of like another extension of that. However, Askin finds it kind of interesting, not so much the fact that this happens with Grimmjow, but more for the fact that it seemed that Urahara planned this out, you know, a long time ago, and he's just like, what, this is what you're anticipating for? Oh, not at all. It's just like you said, though. I just thought it might prove interesting, and that's how I am. I'm always expecting 1,000 what-if scenarios, just so I'm never caught with my pants down. That's a great translation there, Manga Stream, but no, that's the key point of this chapter. In fact, yeah, I would say that's the key point of this chapter. Like, there's a lot of other stuff that happens, but mostly just this with the Urahara moment, kind of a little bit creepy, honestly. But yeah, that's the kind of venerable strategist that this guy is, and makes sense why Yuha put him as one of the 5 war potentials, because Urahara is a guy that literally is always thinking 1,000 moves, not just ahead, but just all possible moves. You know, like, just like, oh, here's a possibility where you get up and fight after I thought I killed you. Here's a possibility where you stay down. Here's a possibility where you attack from the left. Here's a possibility where you attack from the right. Here's a possibility where you turn into Easter Bunny. Here's a possibility where Kubo decided to stop writing the chapter and go out to eat Chipotle. I'm prepared for everything, god damn it, cause I'm Urahara Kisuke. Askin, I would assume, is pretty surprised by this, you know, if he wasn't, you know, experiencing massive blood loss and about to pass out anyway. But anyway, he's... Ah, shit.
Hey, how's it going? Name's Mao.
Okay, well, we moved up from baby to teenager, so I guess that's a plus. Still probably gonna end up on some list somewhere. Anyway, what's up with you? Are you a demon, or huh?
Well, it seems my reputation precedes me, but I'm not just a traditional demon. I am the great devil lord of Ente Isla!
Oh yeah, you're totally the devil. You can see the terror running down my spine, oh Prince of Darkness.
Oh, well, I also work at a McDonald's part-time. By the way, can I interest you in a double combo meal for—
Okay, and you're fired.
Stop.
Wow, he got me to quote a Donald Trump line. He might actually seriously be the devil. Anyway, so continuing on, we have Urahara Kisuke with this really awesome panel here with blood running down his eyes. Kind of sporting the Ukiora there look a little bit there, Urahara. And he's basically just like, look, this is battle, this is war, you lose, you're dead. I don't have time to joke around here. Except the time when he was messing with Yoruichi, you know, like, hey, Yoruichi, let's go play with cat toys, and you can lick me all over, and I can get a bone, or whatever, you know. They accept in that situation, it's okay to joke around a little bit, but normally, this is a life or death situation. Individual. Preparing and pushing yourself to the brink to give yourself the best odds of survival. It's no different from what everyone else does. You know, I can't help but think a little bit that Urahara was not always like this. I like to think maybe it's possible that he didn't start... I mean, he was always a smart dude. There's no debating that. But if you remember back during Turn Back the Pendulum when he got massively, basically fucked by Aizen in more ways than one, you know, he got all the visors got, you know, created through Aizen, so, you know, he felt like he failed them, and then he was, you know, banished from the Soul Society. Everyone viewed him as like a traitor, and he left. And not only that, but he also ruined the lives of Tessai and Yoruichi. They're living on the wrong with him. So I don't know if he was always like that, or just after that crucial event in his past, he decided, like, now I'm gonna start, you know, thinking 1,000 moves ahead, so I'm never, as the manga stream translation put it, I'm never caught with my pants down again. But, you know, maybe not, but he's always been a pretty smart dude, and now we finally get the full brunt of it. And I don't know if this is really gonna play a part in any other major fights in the series, but, you know, I'm glad we got to see this side of Urahara at least once. It kind of ties everything back together, you know what I mean? After that display, though, Grimmjow just claws freaking Askin up some more. I don't really know what he's ripping out this time. He's just like, oh, man, come on. What do I have to take out to get this thing to shut up? You're like, lung, spleen, stomach. Come on. But, Urahara tells them, Grimmjow, you might want to just chill out now. It's already done. And then Grimmjow's like, oh, no, well, my agreement was for us to, for me to fight to the end with your enemy. And now I've already done that, so that completes our contract. That's going back to chapter, I think it was 518 when it was confirmed, Grimmjow's the one that Urahara met back in Hueco Mundo after he defeated Quilhé. And, he said, I made a nice little contract with him. So I guess the contract was defeat my enemy, and then I'm on your side, that's all, then you can go fight Kurosaki. I don't know, but Askin's not the only enemy here. You still got Yuha and Hashwolf, so I don't know why Grimmjow's like, yep, I defeated this one enemy, so, I'm all paid up. Can I go fight Ichigo now? I don't know if that's what he was referring to, because I don't see, Urahara, playing that far ahead. The one enemy I'm gonna fight, just help me with that, and then we're good. I don't know where that's referring to, but I think Grimmjow's just kind of being a hothead. Anyway, though, he gets cooled down in the next panel when he gets the kind of pressure being exerted on him. He begins to fall to the ground again. He begins sweating like something else is happening going on here. And it turns out that Askin is still not dead yet. I love that. He's like missing like half of every important organ in his body at this point that Grimmjow probably clawed out of him. And now he's still on the ground. He's spewing blood. He's just like, by the way, there was something I forgot to mention. Upon my death, the power of my Gift Ball Deluxe magnifies. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it? Honestly, that's legitimate. Why wouldn't it? I mean, if the guy's powers are completely focused around death, so upon his death, you think something would go down, right? I mean, just makes sense. This is where the translation gets a little bit iffy. I actually had to go on and always support the official release, but I had to go on and download the official translation over Viz, because this one panel here didn't make a lot of sense here. It was implying that Urahara was falling unconscious or something, but I just didn't get it. So apparently what this deal is that Askin always puts this unconscious seal on his body, so that his power doesn't affect him. But upon his death, that seal is removed, therefore causing this massive magnification of the Gift Ball Deluxe. And he puts his hands into the sinister pyramid of I guess he's Illuminati. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are going to comment that, but he's just looking into Urahara and he's just well, you've earned my respect and everything, Urahara Kisuke. Who the fuck am I kidding? You'll probably figure out something and get through this. Anyway, I was asking Naklevar, Sternritter D, the death dealing, and I was totally fit. Screw it. At this point, I just sound like a broken record. Alright, whatever. Peace out, homies. And with that, Askin's dead! I mean, we don't see a body, but, I mean, he's the enemy here. I don't think he has a chance, guys, but... Alright, Matt. It's cool. It's cool. Just, actually, in this situation, a demon might actually be able to help me a grief here. Alright. Yeah! Sure, clown noise.
Hey there, how's it going?
Oh, nothing much, bro. Just hanging out here, reading some Bleach, mourning the death of my favorite Sternritter. Anyway, I'm sorry. What's going on with you?
Not much, man. Just hanging out, Shinigami, Death Note, pretty boring, actually.
Alright, that's cool, I guess. You want to give me the notebook? We could have a nice little adventure. I try to screw over the entire world's police organizations. It'll be fun!
Oh, well, if this was 2004, sure, I would have taken you up on the offer, but I've already done that, and it kind of bores me now, so,
Huh. Okay, then.
Hey, while I'm here, do you have any apples?
No, actually. I have a bunch of bananas, though.
Oh. Well, fuck off, then.
Aw. Alright, so the gift ball begins to become a little bit more unstable. The segmented patterns begin to expand all over it. I don't know if it's shrinking down to the point where Askin died, or it's gonna blow outwards. I'm not sure. But from a distance, we can see on top one of the Varvelt's buildings, we see Neliel! Okay, Neliel. Askin's dead, that kind of sucks, but Neliel, that's cool. Oh, I put them next to each other. Wow, that's very convenient, actually. Anyway, yeah. We see Neliel there on the side of a building, and she's just kind of observing the gift ball, and she's like, wow, it really did come down to one of those 5 possibilities that he mentioned. Okay, so that confirms at least what freaking Nell was doing the last, 20, 30, 40 chapters or whatever. So, she, I guess, teamed up with Urahara, and Urahara's like, all right, I'm going to go fight this Askin dude. It might result in one of these situations, so just keep at a distance. We don't know what those 5 possibilities would be. Well, we know one of them, I guess, involved the area becoming, I don't know anything about this, because
like, the Gift Ball Deluxe, that happened, like, after Urahara was already in the fight, so he really must have seen far ahead if he could assume that, like, oh yeah, he might create a barrier, and then that barrier might become unstable, so you might have to come in and save us. Anyway, Nell's looking at the opening that Urahara made with the stitch pattern from his Bankai. I guess that's the way Grimmjow got in. It's pretty damn tiny there, and she's like, oh, okay, that's the only way for me to get in. And she's noticing that there are 4 Ryatsus inside, and that pretty much confirms Askin's death, because 4 Ryatsus, we have Urahara's, Grimmjow's, Yashiro's, and Yoruichi's. So there you go. Askin is no more. She decides it's going to make 2 round trips in order to get them all out of there, but then she kind of like sighs a little bit and says, oh man, I was looking forward to meeting up with Ichigo. And it's, at first you might be thinking like, oh, she's just saying that. It's like, oh man, I didn't want to fight this guy. I wanted to be with my Ichigo-kun. But then you start thinking a little bit how she's kind of somber in the next panel, and it's like, is she like resigning herself to die here? Is she thinking this is going to be like a suicide mission? I mean, it very well could be. I mean, it's not impossible, but please, Kubo, don't kill off Nell. I can't take it, all right? But, yeah, she gets a little bit somber there, you know, especially for Neliel, and she, you know, rockets herself off the building heading directly for the opening. And now we cut back inside the gift ball. Urahara is hacking up blood all over the place. We see his Bankai Atarame, and it just collapses around him. It also brings up something interesting here that I had a question about, at least a few anyway. And it was, you know, when Urahara's Bankai dissipates, or when he releases it, would the effects of his Bankai still be in play? Like, because this is like sort of like an organic Bankai that affects the body, because Urahara's eyes were destroyed, and then he used his Bankai's powers to patch them up and reconstruct them. And then he used his Bankai's power again to disassemble his arm and then reconstitute it to make it stronger. So is that going to stay the same way, or is it going to dissipate when his Bankai goes away? Well, we see his Bankai beginning to crumble here, and we see blood beginning to ooze out of the stitch marks on his face and on his arms. So I guess it's assuming that the stitches are coming undone, or his body's reverting back to the way it was. I don't know if that means his eyes are going to go away or whatever, because the eye that was damaged by Askin is partially obscured by his hair here. We don't really know what's going on. But we get the title page, Bleach 666! Empty Hall of Puppet Temple! Do you guys remember those old horror movies, The Puppet Master? It was creepy as hell, weren't they? I mean, like the original 2, or after that it gets kind of, you know, weird. But hey, stop motion's always pretty effective in film. I can't do it, so I'm very appreciative of people that can. Anyway, though, we have Urahara here, and his last words, air quotations, last words are, looks like this is the end of road for me. Forgive me for leaving everything to you. Kurosaki, Kuchiki. Whoa, yeah! Ichirukia fans love it! I know it had nothing to do with the fan shipping at all, and I'm probably like one of the only people that took it that way, but hey, Ichigo and Rukia were mentioned in the same panel. That is major bonus points right there for me. And then he just literally just collapses, like he falls to the ground and just splats his head on the freaking pavement. And that's the last we see of Urahara this chapter. So it just wrapping up his Bankai. I liked it. I loved his power. It was original to me. I liked the design of it. I just wish we got to see more of it, you know? And the fight, I mean, he used it as the closer of the fight, but I don't think we're going to see it anymore throughout the battle. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, Urahara looks like he's pretty effed up here, so I don't know if he's going to be able... I mean, he's going to be alive, okay? I'm not mourning Urahara. I'm not standing here being like, oh no, Urahara's dead, guys. We have his hat here, and I take it off, and it falls dramatically to the ground. No, he's not dead, all right? Urahara Kisuke's not freaking dead. Nell's going to pull him out. He might be seriously injured or something like that. He might have lost an arm, but he's not dead. And Askin most likely is. So you'll forgive me if I focus my mourning on the bad guy and not the good one. Yeah, whatever. Oh yeah, I guess it's about time for the 4th one. What's up?
Hey, what's up? My name's Kiba.
Ah, jeez, God, how many demons are freaking pretty boys? Go suck my dick. I mean, not seriously, suck my dick. Just leave.
Oh, well, that's not really my thing anyway, but I heard from one of my coworkers that our boss is pretty good at doing something like that. She's pretty cool.
Oh, is she hot? I mean, does she have, like, nice personality, or what?
She's pretty cute. I mean, she's a redhead, and she does have big boobs. I mean, then again, the universe I come from, that's not really a big achievement, but, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. This day's turning around nicely. So how do I summon her? Do I have to, like, slit my wrist, or what's, like, the demon equivalent of Skype?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I guess I could get her for you, but she's kind of already seeing somebody else, so, I don't really think she'd be into you that much.
Oh, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't it be? All right, so we're back to the figurative suck my dick. Okay, well, now that we have that over with, let's move on to Yami's fight already in progress. Oh, I'm sorry, not Yami. Sternritter M, the Miracle, Gerald Valkyrie, because the two are very, very distinctive characters. I'm sorry for confusing them there. All right, so we cut back over to see what Toshiro's doing, and surprise, surprise, his ice attacks are not all that effective against the giant guy that was able to curb stomp, quite literally stomp, a series of Captain Class fighters. Anyway, he tries to reach out to Toshiro, but he's blocked by Senbon Zakura. We see Byakuya, he's still there. He's bleeding a little bit, but not seriously. He's probably in Bankai right now because he's directing his sword with his hands, and they just kind of, Toshiro lands next to him. And oh, by the way, we see the ice flowers with Toshiro again. See, Kubo's kind of like, with those things, it's like, they're supposed to represent how long he's in his Bankai, and I think along with everybody else, you're thinking, like, when is he going to, like, outgrow his ice flowers? And he could just stay in his Bankai indefinitely, because I thought that was the whole deal, was, like, he's young, he's inexperienced, he doesn't have full control of his Bankai yet. And that's fine and good at the beginning of the series, but you'd think after all the training he's been through, you'd think at least at this point he'd be able to stay in his Bankai indefinitely. But whatever, yeah, the ice flowers are there, and they're pretty much halfway gone at this point, so, I'm guessing the time he can be in them is extended, but it's certainly winding down there. And I don't know if Kubo just remembered to put them in now, because this might actually play a point in the battle, like he might actually have to, like, only a limited amount of time before his Bankai dissipates. But anyway, yeah, Toshiro lands next to Byakuya, and Byakuya tells him, like, okay, look, a one-on-one fight against a guy of this height, you're going to need my assistance here. And this is where we get interesting things involving translations. So in the manga stream's translation, it's pretty much this really weird, out-of-nowhere joke that really goes against Toshiro's character, because Byakuya basically insinuates, like, there's no way a one-on-one fight against a character of this height you're going to be able to win, because he's so huge. And Toshiro's basically like, oh, well, even if I stood on top of you, then we'd still be short. And then Byakuya just kind of looks at him, and Toshiro's like, what? I'm not allowed to make jokes either? Come on, a height joke from me? That's hilarious. Yuck, yuck, yuck. But no, I mean, that's just weird for Toshiro's character to do that, so I'm not going to say that's the right translation. The other one is a little bit more centered on Byakuya's side, because Byakuya made the height joke referencing Toshiro, so Toshiro's just kind of looking at him, he's like, what, are you talking about my height, seriously? And then Byakuya just kind of smirks, like, this might be the demonic chapter, because we get to see Byakuya almost expressing an emotion, and he's like, oh, yes, right, I was just referencing nothing, just the fact that he's very big. So it's like Byakuya trying to reference the fact that he's short, like every other captain too. Byakuya's like, I went on this too, so I'm just gonna try, but Byakuya's not that great at jokes, but it was still pretty funny. Well, anyway, with this little bit of distraction, I don't know why they decided to make this a comedy festival all of a sudden, Gerald outreaches his hand directly for Toshiro and Byakuya. They turn, they look serious, they ready their Zonpak toes, and then his arm just gets sliced the fuck off! Oh yeah, you know what's going on here. Arm just got sliced off out of nowhere, barefoot, spouting obscenities. You know where this is going. Kenpachi Zaraki's on the scene. Oh, just when we thought it couldn't get any worse. And that's how the chapter ends. So, apparently Mayori's healing pod is even more advanced than the ones in the Dragon Ball Z universe, because he is back in action. Like, he got messed up by Pernita. He got his arm ripped off. He had both of his kneecaps just completely fucked over. Like, he was like wrecked, essentially. And then he got stabbed by Mayori Zanpakuto, and only like, I don't know, how long's it been? Like an hour, maybe 2 hours tops since that fight, and he's already healed up and ready to go. Maybe it's kind of like whatever doesn't kill me only makes me stronger, right? So he shows up at the end, he's got both arms, got both legs, and he's ready to charge in. Now, I can't help but make the comparison to the Yami fight. I mean, it's dead on. We have this massive opponent, we have Kenpachi and Byakuya both fighting him. I mean, Toshiro's there too, but whatever. Most of this fight's gonna come from Byakuya and Kenpachi, let's be honest here. Because we really haven't seen everything that Byakuya can do when he's in his new his Bankai, like all the new skills he can do. And Kenpachi, of course, we still have some resolve stuff with Yachiru that we haven't really touched upon yet. So hopefully he'll go into Nozarashi next chapter, and we'll get to see what happens there. You know, I don't know, Toshiro, I think's already had his chance to be badass. Back when he was a zombie, you know, he was pretty awesome when he was a zombie. He went bonkai, he had the cool posing, he used his ice in an effective way. You know, I think we've reached our awesome Toshiro moment. You know, I said a while back that it's really cool that he got a fight, but that was before Byakuya and Kenpachi got involved. Now I'm just like, okay, Toshiro, okay, buddy, it's cool. It's cool. You can go, you can get yourself some watermelon, maybe a juice box, and just chill out and watch some cartoons, you know. Byakuya and Kenpachi will take care of the giant. They got some giant killing experience, so we're good. Most of it was kind of off-panel, but they're still experts in this field. Well, anyway, I hope you guys enjoy... Jeez, what now? Come on! Okay, this is going interesting places. Hey, Botan, what's going on with you?
Hi there, I'm Kurimu. I'm a succubus. Basically, I'm a demon that has nothing but hardcore sex with all the mortal men that I can find.
Really? That's awesome.
Yup. So first I'm gonna undress you.
Alright.
And then we're gonna have sweet, passionate sex all night long.
Alright.
And then I'm gonna suck your soul out through your dick.
Is it really necessary for you to do the last part? Like, can we just skip that?
Yeah, sorry. That's just kind of my thing.
Okay, fine. Just get out of here before I change my mind, because I'm really close to. Oh my god. Alright. Anyway, that's the end of the chapter. Anyway, that's the end of the chapter, so I hope you guys enjoyed. This will be Tekking101 Sun. Wait a second, I'm only at 5. Thought he said 6 demons were going to torment me. Huh. Alright, well, maybe the number system works differently in hell, I guess. I don't know. Because, of course, the plot line from this video couldn't possibly spill into the next one. That would just be, you know, crazy nonsense. Like, it took me a whole week to get this video out. I mean, that's just ridiculous, right? I mean, chapter 667 isn't even out yet. Oh.